I want to tell you something really stupid I used to do. And honestly, I don't even think I realized how much I was doing it until I started paying attention. I'd look in the mirror, I'd be fine. Not like, oh my god, I'm gorgeous, just fine. I'd get ready, fix my hair, put on something I liked, look at myself and think, yeah, we're good. And then I'd open my phone, I'd see somebody who looked really good, and suddenly I'd look at myself differently. Same face, same clothes, same person. But now I'm noticing everything. My hair looks weird, my face looks different from that angle. Why do I look so much better in the mirror than in this picture? And then I do something that makes absolutely no sense when you say it out loud. I start checking front camera, mirror, another picture, back to the mirror, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I actually don't look that good. And the weirdest part, 10 minutes ago, I wasn't even thinking about it. And I think that's when I first realized something. Sometimes you don't suddenly become insecure about your looks. Something makes you look at yourself differently, and for me, sometimes that thing was just another person. And I know what you're probably thinking. Okay, but isn't comparing yourself to other people just normal? Yeah, it is. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you looks don't matter because that's not real life. People notice appearance, people have preferences, attraction exists, first impressions exist. Some people are going to think you're attractive, some aren't, and sometimes someone is simply going to look better than you. That's life. I think the problem starts somewhere else. It's when your brain takes they look good and quietly turns it into so what's wrong with me? Those are two completely different thoughts. You can see somebody attractive and appreciate it, or you can see somebody attractive and suddenly start measuring yourself against them. And once you're measuring, there's always another person, another face, another outfit, another body, another hairstyle, another person getting more attention. There is no finish line. And social media makes this incredibly easy because think about what you're actually seeing. You're not seeing someone's average Tuesday. You're seeing the picture they liked enough to post. Maybe the lighting was perfect. Maybe they took 20 pictures. Maybe they changed the angle. Maybe they edited it. Maybe they didn't. It doesn't even matter because your brain doesn't experience the picture as this is one carefully selected moment of somebody's life. It can experience it as this is what attractive looks like. And then you look at yourself and compare your normal life to somebody else's selected moment. And that's a terrible competition. Comparison and body image concern that doesn't mean Instagram automatically makes everyone insecure. It means the way we compare ourselves online matters. And I think that's an important distinction because I've seen people say just delete social media, and maybe that helps some people, but that's not the whole answer. Because you can be insecure without Instagram, but you can compare yourself in school, at work, at a party, on a date, even standing next to your friend. The deeper problem isn't just the app, it's the habit of measuring yourself. And here's where it got interesting for me. I started noticing that my confidence could change depending on something as stupid as whether I liked a picture of myself that day. If I thought I looked good, I walked differently, I talked more, I felt more comfortable. If I hated how I looked, suddenly I was quieter. I didn't want pictures, I didn't want attention. I started thinking about how I looked while I was actually talking to people. And I remember thinking, wait, why does my face have this much control over my personality? Nothing about my personality had changed, nothing about my ability had changed, nothing about what I actually knew had changed. Only my perception of myself had changed. And that's when I started questioning the whole idea of confidence because maybe I wasn't confident. Maybe I was just comfortable with the way I thought other people would see me, and those are not the same thing. There's actually a really simple psychological idea underneath this. We care about how other people see us. Obviously, humans are social. Your brain is constantly picking up information about do I fit in? Do people like me? How am I being perceived? And appearance can become one of the easiest things to use as evidence. You get compliments, okay, I'm attractive. Someone gives you attention, okay, I'm attractive. You post a picture and gets lots of likes, okay, I'm attractive. But then bad picture, no attention, someone else gets complimented and suddenly maybe I'm not. And now your self-image is basically being controlled by random pieces of feedback. That's exhausting and it creates this weird loop. You feel insecure, so you check and temporarily feel better. Then you notice something else, so you check again, and eventually you're spending way more time monitoring yourself than actually living. And this is where I think we need to be honest. There are things you can change. If you don't like your hairstyle, change it. If you want better clothes, learn how to dress in a way you actually like. If you want to take better care of your skin, build a reasonable routine. If you want to become healthier, take care of your health. If you want to work on your presentation, do it. There is absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to look good. You don't have to pretend appearance doesn't matter just to prove you're confident, but there's difference between improving yourself and constantly trying to earn permission to feel okay about yourself. Because I've noticed something, there's always another improvement. You fix your hair, now your skin. You fix your skin, now your clothes. You get better clothes, now you're comparing yourself to someone with completely different face. And you think, okay, just one more thing and then I'll finally be confident. But if your brain's rule is, I can feel good about myself once I look good enough, there's no objective definition of good enough. Someone else will always be better looking in some way. And even if you become objectively more attractive, you can still be insecure. That's the part people don't talk about enough. Looking better can improve how you feel. Of course, it can, but it doesn't automatically fix the reason you were constantly checking yourself in the first place. So I stopped trying to make myself feel attractive every single day. Not because I stopped caring, I still care. I still have days where I look in the mirror and think, yeah, we're not taking picture today. And that's okay. The difference is I don't need to solve that feeling anymore. I don't need to spend an hour finding the perfect angle. I don't need somebody to tell me, no, no, you look fine. I can just think, I don't love how I look today, and then go do whatever I was going to do. And honestly, that changed more than trying to convince myself that I'm attractive ever did. Because eventually you realize you don't have to win every mirror interaction. You're struggling with this, try something really simple for one week. Notice when you start feeling bad about your appearance. Don't immediately try to fix it, just notice. Was it after scrolling? Was it after taking picture? Was it after seeing someone else? Was it because someone said something? Was I already having a bad day? And then notice what you do next. Do you check the mirror? Do you take the photo? Ask someone for reassurance, comparing yourself? Because that tells you way more about your insecurity than simply thinking I don't like my face. And there's another thing I genuinely recommend, stop spending so much time looking at yourself. Not forever, just don't constantly inspect yourself. You don't need to know exactly how you look from every possible angle. You don't need to review every photo like you're investigating evidence. Take the picture. If you like it, cool. If you don't, move on. Because there is a point where self awareness turns into self surveillance, and I don't think anyone deserves to spend their entire day being their own security camera. And I think that's what I finally understand about confidence. It's not I look amazing, it's not everyone thinks I'm attractive, and it's definitely not I don't care what anybody thinks, because I do care sometimes. You probably do too. We are human. Confidence, at least for me, is becoming more like maybe they don't like how I look. Maybe I don't love how I look today. Maybe someone else in this room is objectively more attractive than me, and I'm still going to walk into the room. I'm still going to talk. I'm still going to take the picture. I'm still going to go on the date. I'm still going to wear the outfit. I'm still going to live my life. Because your appearance is something you have, it doesn't have to become something you constantly monitor. And maybe that's the part I wish someone had told me earlier. You are allowed to improve your appearance, you're allowed to care, you're allowed to want to look good, but don't make looking good the price you have to pay before you're allowed to participate your own life. Because some days you're going to look incredible, some days you're going to look tired, some days you're going to take 10 pictures and hate all 10, and one day you're going to look back at those days and realize you were so busy worrying about how you looked that you forget you were actually there. So, yeah, take care of yourself, look good when you want to, improve what you genuinely want to improve. Just don't spend your whole life watching yourself, live it.